hop off. Have fun.
Hello, and welcome to Jet Set Radio Future Bingo.
Are we good to go? Hello.
So, Jet Set Radio Future. Really exciting, really fast-paced game.
Yeah. Our bingo game is a little different to some of the others you'll see here at Bingothon. We're doing a Lockout 2v2, but we've got a custom scoring system that we'll explain a little bit. What else? Yeah, this game is about running around, spraying graffiti, picking up collectibles called graffiti souls, and interacting with these other graffiti spraying gangs, which are all objectives we'll see on our bingo board. Yeah. Ekla, do you have any other intro stuff to add?
Yeah, so this is the 2v2 variant of JSRF Bingo. We also play 1v1. 2v2 is really interesting because there's a lot of different strategy that goes on. And as I said, this is a really, really fast-paced game, so there's always going to be something to look at. Something I really like about JSRF is it's very clear to see what's happening at all times. There's a lot of progress markers, as you'll see as we get into details about how bingo is played.
Yeah, so we're actually doing two games. For the first one, Ekla and myself will be doing more like macro overview of how the game works and how the bingo works, and then in the second game we can really focus on the strategy and the detail of it.
Sounds super exciting. I wanted to just announce that we've closed the bid war for the Jet Set Radio Future Choosing the Character. The final results: Jazz in first with $76, Potts in second with $61, Clutch at $60 rounds out third, Corn with $36 at fourth, Beat at $25 at fifth, and Gum in solitary last place with $10. Thank you all for your generosity. I know that there was a little bit of infighting, as it were, in the JSRF over which characters would take the lead. But that's the final results. Bid war is closed.
Yeah, people get real excited about their favorite characters. I think this is the second year we've been here in a row where we've donated a pretty significant amount on a character bid war. So that's always exciting.
Well, thank you for your generosity. That will also be it for me. I will be handing you over into the very capable hands of Floha and the DM Panda to help close out the remaining runs of the marathon. Have a fantastic evening, everyone. Give generously of your time, of your money. Support these runners, and let's bring this marathon home.
All right. So I'm just gonna check in with the runners to see if people are generally ready to go. I think one of our runners is having some internet issues.
Everything looks good on my end. We're just waiting for word from Jammy, I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, we haven't revealed the board yet. I'm looking at it on my end. This first game is going to be a really good example of a lot of what JSRF has to offer as a game, and particularly as bingo as well. We are all JSRF speedrunners to varying extents, and there's a lot of speed tech in this game, a lot of movement that keeps you moving as quickly through the areas as possible. There's a lot of optimal routing that goes into particularly the graffiti routes, but also unlocking the graffiti souls, which are collectibles that you unlock by performing certain combos and doing certain things within the areas. So there's a lot of really exciting movement to look at, and this is a very fun game to watch and to play.
Yeah. Looks like our players will be revealing the board in about 30 seconds. Once they reveal the board, they have a minute to look at it and to talk with their teammates to kind of strategize where they're going to head first. We've got, our tech people are doing a countdown, and so then Ekla and I will walk you through where we think people will be heading first.
All right. So first things first, with JSRF Bingo, the default souls are usually prioritized, which is to say that there are graffiti souls that appear in each of the areas, 3 of them, and those are usually where our players head first to pick up early points. So what do we have on this board in that regard?
We've got an easy enough default right in the center square with the sewers center structure. However, that's not super near the start. Let me.
We have
I also
Shibuya
don't-
Cubby.
Shibuya Cubby. Ooh, that's a great one. That's
the classic.
usually one of the first picked up. We've also got Shibuya Spray 100% Graffiti, so that area is decently stacked. There's also Shibuya Tricks. So I anticipate we'll see someone heading to Shibuya first. There are
Particularly, as
also,
you said, it's right off the start. It's very easy to get there straight away.
and from Shibuya you can then go to 3 more areas. You can go to Hikage, Chuo, and Dogen, all of which also have a couple of squares on the board. So I expect we'll see at least one member of each team heading there first. Looks like the countdown into the game got a little messed up. Yeah, this first board we see a pretty even breakdown of the areas on the board. You can kind of split the map into 3 locations. There's Shibuya and its adjacent areas. There's the sewers and their adjacent areas, and then there's Dark Side, which is 99th Street and everything past that. And we've got a pretty even breakdown in all 3 areas. So right off the bat, yeah.
Jammy picks up that Shibuya Cubby Soul. That is almost always the first square that's marked. Whenever it's on the board, it's very, very quick to get to straight away.
Yeah, so as mentioned, we see 1 person on each team going into Shibuya and presumably adjacent areas first, and then 1 person on each team also heading in to Rokakudai Heights and by extension the sewers, which is another kind of area of the board. See, we've got Ailis and Phospho in sewers, Bats and Jammy in Shibuya.
Yeah,
For
so we've
clarity,
seen...
for clarity, we kind of refer to the areas by their Jet Set Radio names. So you'll hear us refer to sewers and RDH as Kogane, and you'll hear us refer to the nighttime areas, 99th Street, Skyscraper, etc. as Ben 10, and then Shibuya is just Shibuya. Oh no, Phospho! He was practicing that trick before and he missed it. Anyway.
That's right. So sewers is a notorious area in JSRF. There's a lot of very difficult movement that allows you to get through the area a lot quicker. Otherwise, it's quite a slow area to go through. But
Yeah,
that
sewers
center
is
structure soul already picked
Yeah.
up. That's the first one.
Sewers is incredibly vertical. Yeah, so sewers is this, incredibly vertical area, and if you fall, you can't get back up quickly. So there's some speed tech you'll see players using to climb up quickly, but also sewers is incredibly punishing, and so if you fall, you're kind of screwed.
Interesting to see, Jammy has already started on Hikage Street Graffiti.
That's a choice. Hikage is, of the graffitis we've got on the board, Hikage is one of the longer ones. Let's see. We've got Hikage, Rokakudai Heights, I believe we've got Shibuya, and then there was one more. Was it Dogen?
Yes, Dogen.
Yeah, so of those, I'd say
Acebats
Hikage's maybe
work.
the longest.
Yeah, Hikage is definitely the longest graffiti on this map, but with so much graffiti on the map, I can kind of see why they've gone for it early, because as you can see, Acebats is working on Dogenzaka Hill graffiti as well. And in our scoring system, graffiti is worth 3 points because it takes much longer to finish these graffiti routes in these areas. As you can see, Jammy has to spray 50 tags in this area. That's a lot of committed time, and as a result, the points are triple, 3 points for a graffiti tile. So there's definitely a reason to go forward.
Yeah, but it's also kind of a gamble, because Hikage graffiti, it's worth 3 points, but it can take you more than 3 times as long as it might to pick up 3 quicker souls. You could definitely pick up 3 of the default souls in an area faster than you could do all of Hikage graffiti.
That's right, yeah, that is true. Looking at where the graffiti squares are on the board, the Hikage graffiti, it's not in a strategically amazing position either. I mean, it's row 1, column 4, so it's not exactly going to set up for any bingos either. which are
Oh,
also
that's the
worth.
other part of our scoring system. Yeah. We give bonus points for a bingo, so you get 3 additional points on top of whatever like points you get from the squares for getting 5 in a row. 2v2 also having a second player that you can work towards goals with gives you way more opportunities to go for bingos, so they tend to play a much larger role than they do in, say, 1v1 bingo.
By the nature of the game, with it split into 3 distinct areas, going for a bingo in a 1v1 can be a big commitment of time because you have to move all the way across the map. But in 2v2, when you have 2 people working towards that goal, you can send one to one area and one to the other, and it speeds things up really quite a lot.
Yeah.
I would say bingo is probably a bigger part of the 2v2 strategy than they are in the 1v1s.
Oh yeah, for sure. It can be difficult or almost impossible to get a bingo in a 1v1 if there are any like easy squares that your opponent can collect to block. They generally will do that unless they have a chance to counter bingo.
And so checking in on the score, it's currently 5 points to 4. Is that correct? 5 points to 4? In the favor of SFC and K right now?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right. Because they have a graffiti. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they've got 4 squares, but a graffiti gives them a bonus 2.
Ah, right,
Which
yes.
puts them at 6.
The bonus.
Yeah.
So it's a close
Bats
game
picked up
early.
yeah. Bats picked up that
Commitment
Dogen
of time
graffiti.
to the graffiti, proving worth it at the moment. We can see actually, Jammy decided to drop the Hikage graffiti and just move out to somewhere else instead. Did manage to pick up the Trick Soul while they were there though, so the time wasn't completely wasted, and they can always go back to the area and finish off that graffiti later.
Yeah, Hikage is one of the areas. It's kind of divided into 3 sections, and so if you finish a section and decide there's something else on the board that's more important, it's relatively easy to just kind of leave and come back to it later. And so if later in the game something is coming down to that Hikage graffiti, Jammy will be in a really good place. Also, we've got a diagonal bingo incoming.
The diagonals, the sneakiest ones.
Phospho is working on that RDH graffiti, though. Actually, it looks like Bats and Ailis are threatening that diagonal bingo, but recognizing that RDH graffiti is a huge time commitment and instead choosing to do other things, kind
really
of forcing.
like
Yeah. Ailis and Bats are good at this play of like forcing their opponent to do something else that they don't want to do.
It's one of the most
they've
interesting
recognized-
things
Yeah.
about JSRF Bingo is the strategy that's evolved really over the course of the last few months since we've been playing a lot of Bingo. The game doesn't stay the same. People find new ways to play it, new strategies all the time, and different players play the game in a very different way as well. So it's not just down to your raw skill with the game, your movement ability and such like that. There's so much brain work that goes into the strategizing part of it, particularly in 2v2.
Phospho also doing a strat called Up Dog. Feel the
Shout out
need
to
to
Up
mention
Dog.
that one.
Yeah, that's
Shout out to Up Dog.
innovated by Acebats himself, in fact.
Yeah. Yeah, we ran a bingo tournament a couple of months ago, and it was really interesting to watch 2v2 bingo, which was this kind of new, unexplored thing, kind of develop its own meta.
So Jammy's now in Highway 0, which, when I looked at this board originally, I was kind of excited for the Highway 0. I don't know why. I just really like Highway 0. We've got the Grind 15 Soul and the Unlock Soda. And I said Jammy, I meant Acebats. Acebats is in Highway 0. And picking up the Grind 15 Soul. Then there's the character unlock. Soda, there's actually 2 of these on the board, one for Soda and one for Boogie. These are really interesting because Soda in particular is a character race, meaning once you start that race, you're locked into it, and you can't leave until you complete it. So if that's a particularly powerful square, which fortunately in this game it's not, it can be really punishing to be locked into that race and then forced out if you're beaten to it. So despite Acebats being in the area right now, he's actually not going to go for that because it's such a risk. Using his time more effectively by just leaving the area and going for something else, because there's not a lot of priority on that square right now.
Yeah, so character races are also generally... It depends. They can be longer than going for a soul. I'd say the soda race takes about a minute. There's also the factor of Highway 0 is one of the farthest out areas from start. It's all the way at the end of Benton, at the end of Darkside. It's one of the smallest and, like, quickest areas to pick things up. You can pick up all the souls. You can do the graffiti in, I don't remember exactly, I think it's about a minute or two. Like, it's one of the fastest graffiti routes, but at the expense of being at the furthest end of the board, or of the map, rather.
There's so much to consider when you're routing your way through this, and you have to do it live as well. Just having base knowledge of how to navigate the areas from the game in a speedrunning manner or in a casual manner isn't always enough in Bingo. Which we saw Phospho finish the Rokoku Dai Heights graffiti, which denies the diagonal bingo.
And it actually sets Team Tim and Eric up for a nice row 1 bingo, with Jamie having
Hikage
already
graffiti.
partialed that Hikage, and Chuo Right Canal being a default, meaning it's already on the map and you don't have to unlock anything to get it.
Chuo is
So I
also
think-
very close to Hikage.
Yeah. Phospho heading into Shibuya, presumably to go pick up that Chuo soul. Jammy is in the Skyscraper district, which is way far out.
Yeah, not a whole lot to get here. Just the grind 20 soul, which the thing about this area in particular is it's huge. It takes a lot of time to get across it, even with the death warps that we've used to kind of optimize movement through the area. There being only one soul here is actually almost beneficial, because sometimes you can end up with 2 or more souls in this area, and they take a really long time to get to because they're on other ends of a very large area.
Yeah, Skyscraper is massive.
Successful fence jump from Ailis, by the way. That's a
That-
really difficult trick.
Yeah, so that jump that we just saw Ailis do, we'll point out more of like the neat little movement things like that in game 2. But Ailis, oh no, she didn't quite make the warp after.
Right. Unfortunately.
You jump up onto this fence, you boost dash into this out of bounds area, and then you kind of clip through some walls and death warp, and it'll take you halfway across the map, which is super worth it if you get it first try, but it's also very precise. It's also, interestingly, kind of a bingo exclusive trick. One of the things I really love about JSRF Bingo is that almost anything can theoretically be viable. There are all sorts of tricks that get used in only one category, or even not at all in full game speedruns of this game, that find their applications in Bingo in a way that's really interesting to see. This Bingo format really rewards just like knowing weird and random things about the game.
Which our runners definitely do, particularly Team SSC and K. Ailis and Acebats are full of this almost random knowledge just from the amount of this game that they've played.
Acebats is kind of known for being really good at going into an area and just messing around until he finds a weird clip or like a weird warp, and then being able to jam it into a route somehow.
Do we have time for some donations?
Ooh, yeah, I think so.
All right, I've got a $15 donation in here by Just Call Me MB. You know, MB was hosting just earlier. Thank you so much again, MB, for hosting. Saying, thank you, Bingothon, for bringing people together. It was so fun to be a part of the marathon. You'll catch me next in the Breath of the Wild weeklies here. Thank you very much, MB. Very much appreciated.
And we have a $10 donation from Alpha Lobster saying, good luck, guys. Jet Set Radio for the win.
Oh, hi, Lobster.
Hi, Lobster.
Lobster is also a runner of this game. Yeah. Alright, so where are our players at?
That was a really good time for donation because everyone's just working on some really long stuff right now. We got graffiti routes happening. It looks like Phospho's doing Shibuya. Acebats is in Hikage right now, interestingly. Deny
The
that
game will
graffiti
give you a
bingo.
count of how many sprays each person has done, so I'll be interested to see if Acebats has pulled ahead of Jammy in terms of spray count. The other component of this game is that in order to do graffiti, you need these spray cans that are littered around the map. And Hikage has, like, a terrible shortage of spray cans. Like, there are just not enough to get all of the graffiti comfortably. And so there are special, like, bingo routes that have been developed specifically to factor in can issues, but even taking that into consideration, messing up the route can leave you with not enough cans. Alright, Bats is at 18 out of 50. Jammy is at 20 out of 50. Oh, so we've got a race on the right side of the screen.
Could well decide the game.
It could.
Currently, the score is 13 to 12. Very, very close. The graffiti
Yeah, and
being
so-
worth 3 here.
Yeah, so that means this Hikage graffiti square is worth, 6 points for Team Kim and Eric? 3 for being a graffiti square plus an additional 3 for the bingo. This is why we love our custom scoring system. It really forces you to pay attention to what's happening on the board versus just, like, which squares you feel like going for.
That said, Phospho is drawing relatively close to finishing Shibuya, which will be another 3 points locked in. So
Yeah.
this really puts the onus on SSC and K to get this Hikage done.
Yeah. Yeah, tied up now. Ailis must have picked something up in Hibogaka Hill, which is the area she is currently in. Shibuya is one of the... yeah. Shibuya is one of the quicker graffitis in the game. It's also one of the least linear. Lots of the areas in this game are just like a loop with some extra steps that you follow and spray as you go along, but Shibuya is like this big open rectangle that you can kind of go any way in and hit all of the sprays.
Which is really good for bingo because you're always switching up your routes. Also, shout out to Ailis for the first try Kigo Baka, another piece of pretty cool movement in Kibo.
It's not bingo exclusive, but you only use it in full game runs if you mess something up. It's used as like a backup for one of the harder skips in the game. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
the
Ailis
other thing
playing
we
really
haven't...
well in Kibo.
Yeah. The other thing we haven't mentioned is that we actually play bingo on a modified save. At no point in the unmodded game does the game look like this. We have all areas opened with nothing completed. So the graffiti routes have a combination of the graffiti that appears the first time you play through them in the story, and then also the post-game graffiti that shows up later once you've completed the story. And this also allows us to have all of the areas open at the same time, which doesn't quite happen in the course of the story.
Yeah, it's effectively an open sandbox with everything available to be done.
Yeah. We tried doing it not in a modded save and it just wasn't as fun. That's
Yeah, I
Jammy's
think
stream
that's something
dive.
that makes
That's
this,
sad.
this game a little unique compared to other bingo games as well, is that we don't necessarily play bingo over the course of what could be considered a playthrough of the game. It is the sandbox setting instead.
Yeah, Jammy's stream has died. I think he's been having some internet issues, which is a shame. So we get the Acebats perspective for this graffiti route. We don't know when Jammy is unlocking it. We don't even know if he's ahead
Hopefully
anymore.
we'll find out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll be
because
back soon.
Jammy started off Hikage very, very early and then left to do some other things. And Acebats has done this all in one sitting so far, and in terms of what you were talking about earlier, in terms of hands and such, that's pretty daunting for
Yeah.
for
Jammy's back.
Acebats. Jammy's back. Let's see if we can find out exactly how many sprays left to go.
I think both of them just have this top room to go, but Jammy is further up in this top room. Yeah, so Jammy's
40?
41. Like I was saying earlier, Hikage is kind of divided into these 3 separate rooms, and so we see both players in the kind of northern room. which doesn't have a ton of sprays, but I would assume that that means both of them have completed the 2 other sections of this route.
Yep, going by spray count, I believe so, but it looks like Jammy may just win the game
43.
with this.
Yeah. Yeah, if Bats pulls this out, it comes down to unlocking Soda, which we see Ailis just slightly ahead by like 10 seconds, based on the race counter.
Really,
Yeah, so it really is
close
gonna-
game 1.
Yeah. Great job, players, keeping this interesting. Yeah, I think the other thing
and
about
around the
Hikage
hands.
is... Oh no. Hikage is one of the more punishing areas in the game as well. If you fall down from this area, you have to climb back up. It's also quite vertical. Alright, that's
There
that
it
for
is.
Jammy. Yeah.
Well done, Jammy. That's the win
So,
for Team
the-
Tim and Eric.
Team Tim and Eric. Yeah, so the score looks pretty far apart, but like, it really did come down to that last square. So our players are just going to be resetting real quick while we head into game 2.
In the meantime,
Acebats is-
if I could
Oh, go for it.
take up some words. Yeah, keep in mind we're raising money here for Fred Hutch, all for good cause. We currently have an ongoing bid war for Pokemon Emerald, which is the starter's name. And we have 3 names currently in, which are Dingus, Kizaron, and the Senate. Dingus at $20, Kizaron at $44, and the Senate at $14. So, if you want to change either of these names, if you think the Senate is a better name than Kizaron, then get your money in for that. Otherwise, if you want a totally different name, then you can also get your money in for that. Keep in mind that you need to donate at least $44 to get your favorite name in. And yeah, we also have a potential bonus run coming up if we are gonna be reaching $2077 by the end of Pokemon Emerald. I know this is currently a bit of a stretch, but if everyone donates $1, then I'm sure we can make this. So get your money in, guys, all for good cause. And
Do you get
we'll
to
be
see a panda completely lose his sanity?
Yes, that is something you totally want to see. I hope you are looking forward to that. Back to you guys.
Alright. Looks like players are just getting set up for this next game. Yeah, so like Ekla and I mentioned at the beginning, we've kind of gone over most of the basics of JSRF Bingo, and so now we can focus a little bit more on like cool pieces of speed tech and movement and strategy that are happening here.
Yeah, I think we're about to get ready. I think our runners are nearly ready to go. And our new board is
yeah.
revealed.
Yeah, we're just waiting for confirmation from all our players. This next board, no spoilers, but Ekla and I have already seen it, and it is a chaotic one.
Oh, I'm so excited for this board.
Our board generators specifically went for a less balanced one than the last board.
Yeah, our last board was a really, really good example of all the different areas and cool pieces of movement and different types of strategy. This one is going to be a very different flavor.
Yeah. The last one, we had all of the goals kind of like nice and evenly distributed among the possible areas in the game. This one, not so much. So players will be looking at the board in 30 seconds and then strategizing and going. Yeah, this one, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the teams adapt to such a different board. Their focus is going to have to be very, very different this time around. That should be really interesting to see if they double up and head to similar parts of the map.
Yeah.
We saw both members of each team kind of split up from each other and contest one other member of the
All right.
of the opposing team.
We've got our board. So last time, all of our goals were pretty evenly distributed among the 3 areas. This time, we only have 1 goal in the entirety of the Shibuya area, which is that Dogen Grind 10. So nobody is going there first. We've also got Highway Zero Graffiti, which is the fastest graffiti in the game, sometimes faster than even going for a soul. A perfectly executed Highway Zero Graffiti can take like a minute. Like, when that's on the board, it almost always gets picked up first, because you get the 3 points from it being a graffiti square, but it's so fast.
Yeah, and there's other stuff in Highway Zero as well.
Yeah, how much other
Which you
stuff
can
is in
usually pick
Highway
up.
Zero?
I believe it's 3 souls, a default and 2 unlocks.
Yeah, which is another interesting component of bingo, right? Like, if there are more than 3 things in an area that has a graffiti, it's more worth it to go for those souls and to leave that graffiti for someone else. Alright, players are going. We've also, the sewers area was also decently stacked. Should mention that as well. Yeah, so we've
there's
got...
a fair amount of stuff in that general area.
We've got Ailis and Acebats splitting up, with Bats going into Benton and Ailis going into Kogane. And Jammy and Phospho doing the same.
Ah, interesting. With 2 very heavily stacked areas like this, I suppose it makes sense. We'll see.
That is exactly
I'm sure
what we expected, yes.
2 people heading immediately out to Highway Zero. This will be really closely contested, I imagine.
Yeah.
Go down to frames between them.
I
See
didn't
who
look...
picks up the souls, who completes the graffiti. There's so much going to be happening in this area.
Yeah, and then we've got like a decently stacked Kogane area, but among the areas there isn't... It's decently distributed, right? Like, Sewers has 3 souls, one of which has already been picked up. A quick and easy
Was that a
default.
strategic death warp from Phospho to get to that soul quicker?
Might have been.
I've never seen that before. I love bingo.
Ailis is an FRZ, which has... Ooh, okay. FRZ has 3 goals, but they're all along a diagonal. The others in that diagonal are an RDH and Sky Dino. So we'll see Bats and Jammy racing for this Highway Zero graffiti, and then Sky Dino is very close to Highway Zero, and so I expect we'll see Bats racing there next to pick up that. So Sky Dino's special. Oh, we didn't quite explain how special unlocks work. All of the areas have 3 default souls, which are there by default, except for Sky Dino, which has 4 for round number purposes. And then there are 5 unlockable souls, which you unlock by doing a grind combo on a single rail, a trick combo, which doesn't have to be a single rail, it's just a number of tricks in a row, an air trick combo, a points challenge, which has to be done on like a specific rail, and then a special, which is unique to every area.
Really good time to explain that as well, since we're seeing these unlocks coming through from pretty much everybody right now. We saw
every
Ailis
direction.
The exploit on the big metal girder in RZ.
Tim and Eric off to a very strong start here. 5 squares marked.
Looks like both of our players in Highway Zero right now are working towards the tricks unlock, which is notoriously difficult.
I think Acebats might murder me if I didn't shout out his custom graffiti, which he made specifically for this tournament, most of which is trash-talking the other team.
He put more effort into graffiti than he did into preparing his strategy for this.
His XL spray says, I spent more time doing this graffiti than practicing. Ailis is carrying this team so hard, everyone go follow her. So... we take our bingo seriously, but not that seriously.
We have a fun time.
We have a good time. Yeah.
But as you said, really strong start from Tim and Eric here, with the early default souls in particular.
Yeah. Bats has 1 more. There we go. Yeah. Ailis, however, is still completely clear to go for that diagonal bingo, and looks like Bats has gotten the Highway Zero graffiti, which is an early points boost.
Yeah, that brings them pretty much back to even in the game, despite what it looks like. The 3 points from the graffiti really do make a difference there.
Yeah. In 1v1 bingo, like your opening move is really, really important because if you and your opponent go to the same place and you just get sniped to everything, you have to spend the rest of the game making up for that effectively. But in 2v2, it's a little more complicated because you have that second player, which lets you it gives you more opportunities to challenge the other team.
Yeah, and it also adds another dimension into how you think about your strategy compared to what the opponent is doing, because you have to consider the movements of two players.
Yeah.
And that can be on a personal basis, knowing a particular runner is confident in a certain area, or it can be just based on what is happening in this particular game at the time. There's so much to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, in 1v1 you kind of have to balance, like, okay, I know my opponent is in this area. Do I want to go contest them, or do I want to do something else that will make up the points? And in this, there are just that's not so like straightforward, because you have to consider what two people are doing, and you have a teammate who can also go and contest things for you. We also play where you have to mark squares as soon as you collect them, so there's a little bit of an element of like hiding where on the map you are, but the game is so fast-paced that that's honestly not something that plays into strategy all that much.
Yeah, that's true. So Ailis, looks like she's actually leaving Rockokodai without unlocking the tricks solvers there. Currently,
Tim and
Phospho
Eric.
is in the area.
Yeah, Tim and Eric set up for a nice column 2 bingo.
Yeah, so this is
which-
really important because
Yeah,
that
I don't know if
RDH trick
Ailis
soul is
gets
on the
it.
diagonal bingo.
Yeah, that is the most important square in the game right now, I think. It's needed in both of the bingos that teams could go for. Although Bats is in Skyscraper District, he's not in Sky Dino, so maybe they're not going for that at all. Maybe Ailis just noticed the 3 squares in FRZ and headed there first.
Everyone has a slightly different approach to how they strategize and how they play this game in the bingo setting.
Yeah,
Some
some
people
teams
like
go
to clean
so
up
hard for bingos.
areas. Some teams love bingos. Some teams are really fast with their graffiti routes. So it really does differ depending on who's playing, which is just another exciting dimension of watching and commentating it. Especially, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, in our tournament we ran, one of the teams kind of became known for, like, going for picking up the most quick souls as possible right at the start of the game. Like, early board control became their thing as a team. Like, really, 2v2 forces you to kind of get to know your teammates' playstyle and adapt your own kind of meta as a team in a way that's really interesting to see. Also worth noting here that Ailis and Acebats have played as a team together a little bit before. Jammy and Phospho have not so much, but they seem to be doing all right. Both of them are skilled at this game and skilled at bingo. Oh, so one more square for that column 2 bingo. That's
Incidentally, it is
exciting.
that one Shibuya Cho soul, the Dogen grind. It would also set up for a Rotu bingo with that Sky Dino special.
Oh boy. Oh, it looks like Acebats forgot to pick up a tape. That's the other element of the unlockable souls. In every area there's this mixtape. I'll point one out if we see someone picking them up, but they're these shiny golden things that you can't unlock souls in an area until you've picked up the tape. So you can grab the defaults, but you have to pick up this tape before you can do the movement that will unlock the souls, which makes them like a little bit more of an investment. Especially in some of the areas, it takes quite a while to get to the tape. I'm thinking of like Dogen and like Kibo, some of the like loop-shaped areas. You kind of have to do a full lap of the area. Acebats is in Sky Dino. That's exciting.
That's one bingo denial.
Ooh,
Ailis now
Ailis.
in Dogenzaka Hill. looking for the
Phospho
other.
completely not going for Dogen.
This is interesting. Now, we saw this in game 1 from SSC and K, setting up for a bingo and then ignoring it, forcing the opponent to go somewhere else. There's the mystery
But-
tape unlocked by Jammy.
Yeah.
That'll
Yeah.
allow him to unlock all of the unlockable
That's
souls
also
in
picking
99th
that one
Street.
up. Yeah. Yeah, so we saw SSCNK going for that last round, but also it might have cost them the game. Phospho is currently going for like a neat little piece of sewers tech that I know he was practicing this right before the game started, so it's disappointing to see him missing it. As mentioned, sewers is basically all vertical. In these weird half pipes at the start, half pipes are kind of notoriously finicky and have weird physics. You can time a boost jump so that you can skip a whole first floor of the sewers, and also has missed it.
It saves a massive amount of time because moving through these half pipes is a pain, and you have to do it once and then move up to the next level and then do it again. And just simply skipping the level.
I don't remember the exact estimate, but by one of the runner's estimates, it saves time to go for it like 3 times. Like if you miss it 4 times, you start losing time over just doing the normal climb. But like you've got a couple shots because it saves so much time.
Yeah, and that makes sewers a very difficult area because movement skill makes a big difference. In a lot of areas, it's not as important. Your ability to route and to think on the fly and to strategize can make up any difference that you might have if you're a less experienced runner. But having raw movement ability really does make a difference in sewers.
Are we at all possible bingos denied?
Looks like
I think we are. Yeah. So
CNK
this
definitely spotting out what needed to be done there. But equally, the diagonal bingo was taken away from them.
Yeah. With only 2 graffitis on this board, it might come down to that, but most likely it'll just come down to number of squares. We see Acebats working on that Sky Dino graffiti, so he's uncontested there. Sky Dino is one of the like notoriously kind of finicky and difficult graffiti routes, but once you've got it down, it's not that long. There are only, what is it, 29 sprays? I have the right count. Yeah, so there are 29 versus doing one of the longer graffitis like 99th Street has like 64 sprays.
But there's a big margin for error in Sky Dino since there's no floor in Sky Dino. If you fall off the rails, you are going to be warped somewhere that's probably not very beneficial to you. Fortunately, there are some beneficial death warps. And we actually see one here from Acebats that should put him where he wants to be.
Yeah. In Sky Dino, one of the most important things, other than your basic, like, knowing where the sprays are and where everything unlocks, is knowing where you can fall to get a good death warp. The area is all rails, and has an incredibly complicated, like, death warp plane, and so kind of being able to manipulate that.
Going for fence jump.
Ooh.
And we saw Ailis do this in the first game, but she didn't get the death warp afterwards. Phospho's not even going to make the jump. It's so very difficult.
Yeah. If you can jump off of that fence before you boost, you can land in this weird little out-of-bounds area that will then let you death warp to halfway across the level. Kibo is one of the, like, loop-shaped areas, and it is also, like, massive as an area, and so navigating around it is a complete pain. It's one of the areas that lots of runners, i.e. me, avoid completely in Bingo, because it's just such a pain to navigate.
There's a lot of this that Phospho's experiencing right now, just lots of roofs of unequal leveling. You're jumping all over the place, and you'll have noticed watching this, most of the time our runners are moving through areas, they are grinding, they are boosting, and then they are using the shuffle to maintain their speed after boosting and grinding, because skating is pretty much the slowest way to move in this game.
Yeah, which is, you know, counterintuitive considering it's a skating game, but
Kibo is one of those areas where if you get off of the prescribed route forward, you can be stuck on these roofs skating and jumping, and it's going to slow you down so much.
Yeah, it can be a complete pain. Let's see. Bats should be just about done with this Skydino graffiti. Yeah, he's got 3 more sprays. I didn't see how he started his route. Oh, okay. I know.
Go. I think he's
Yeah. He's got
he's
this one
right there.
in the feeder and then 2 down at the bottom. Or 1 down at the bottom, rather.
And this will put SSC and Kate in the lead temporarily, I believe.
Yeah, we'll put them at 13. So they... Yeah.
Of course. That means it could well come down to Skydino. Oh, sorry, not Skydino Graffiti. It could come down to the
Sewer Special.
Souls.
Sewer Special
in
is
particular.
notoriously the worst soul in the game. Yeah, so Bats marks that Skydino Graffiti. Which means Tim and Derek, Phospho and Jammy are ahead by 2 squares, but behind by 2 points, because Ailis and Bats have that extra graffiti square.
Yeah, the Highway Zero and Skydino, very quick graffiti routes have paid off here.
Powerful. Yeah, we love to see it. Are we gonna see someone go for Sewer Special? So Sewer's Special is the most painful of the special souls, because so the points rail, the one rail that you have to unlock this soul at, is all the way at the top of the sewers. Oh no, Jammy. Jammy has fallen. So you have to climb all the way up. And then you have to climb this room that is called the 100-meter room that I'm not gonna spoil. I'll let you see for yourselves.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Tim and Eric need every square on the board to win.
They do. Yeah, so 1 more soul pickup from Ailis or Bats will secure their win. I think we're just
You're
we're gonna
particularly on the left side of the screen here, the 2 players in Kibo racing to the 250,000 point soul.
Yeah. So Phospho is going backwards, which I assume means he has it unlocked. Has Ailis been here already? If Ailis has been here, she might have the tape, in which case she can go unlock it semi-quickly. But if she doesn't...
Right now.
Yeah. Kibo is one of the areas where the tape spawns at the very end of the area, so you have to do a full loop to get it. And so Phospho having it already would be very beneficial.
So while that's happening in Kibo,
Jammy
important to note
is...
that the 2 other souls are in sewers, and Acebats is just now returning to Garage. Jammy has a huge
Yeah.
advantage here.
Yeah. So, Phospho and Jammy need all 3 squares on the board, but they're not in a terrible position to do that. You can unlock, Oh, has Phospho picked up that Kibo soul? Yeah. So you can unlock Kibo points in this weird hallway, which is what Phospho has done.
There we go, he beats Ailis to it.
Yeah, so
We'll have
Ailis
a
is
game
right
on
at
our
the
hands.
area where she would be picking up the tape, but there is no longer a need to, so she is going to zoom out to sewers. Is Jamie going
Fortunately,
for the
she's
card?
right next to it. You can
Yeah.
get straight to sewers from here and race for either the Air 4, probably the Air 4, or the 150,000 points.
Jamie is
Okay.
going for a really hard jump, and it might cost him the game.
Not if he pulls it off.
If he pulls it off, it'll be very exciting. Oh, not quite. You can boost jump just a little higher than that, and you'll skip up a couple floors. It's always a gamble in Bingo. You can go for the really complicated speed tech, but if you miss it, it can lose you the game. And so sometimes it's genuinely better to go for the casual strats. Or even like
Particularly in
the...
sewers.
Yeah, or even like the, not even casual strats, but like the easier speedrunner strats versus the mega Chad floor skips.
Yeah. So everyone's in sewers now for these last 2 souls.
But
And,
Jammy has a decent head start. He is 2 or 3 floors up. So Sewers Air 4 spawns at the top. You can unlock it pretty much anywhere on your way up. You just have to jump. And so that'll be right here. And then,
Jammy-
is it gonna be a race for 100-meter room? Because that would be so funny. Yeah, so Jammy is checking his menu, which confirms that he has the soul unlocked, and he'll pick it up. Not there, it's on the other side. So he's going for the points unlock. Not quite getting it. You have to start a little further on that rail.
Oh man, it had to be. It had to be.
It had to be 100 meter room. Yeah, so Jammy has picked up air for
So as you were
14,
saying,
14. Yeah.
the bonus
Race
rails
100
is
Bonus
something
rails.
that we kind of touched on a little bit. Most of the time when you're grinding in JSRF, you're only getting a small amount of points for it. So to unlock
Oh,
big
Jammy picked up the wrong
souls-
soul.
Ah. Ooh. Uh-oh. That could change this game entirely.
Yeah, Jammy cheating. So it's
Going for 100 meter room now.
so
While
this is
doing that.
called 100 meter room. It is a room and it is tall.
Yeah. So you have to wall ride all the way.
Yeah. So basically, you can't wall ride everywhere in this game. There are only certain walls you can wall ride on, but there's this one area of the sewers that you can only get to the top by wall riding all the way up. It is a pain and a hassle.
So just to go back to the point about
Okay,
points.
Phospho has picked up Air 4 now, so Jammy is cleared of his crimes.
Cool.
And Jammy's
So, yeah,
still in a
points-
good place.
Real quick. Most of the time when you're grinding in JSRF, you're only picking up a couple of points. So to get the big point combos, you need to find certain rails in each level that give you bonus points. In sewers, those rails are right at the top. So you have to navigate all the way up to the top, find those rails, grind them to unlock the soul, and then navigate to where the soul is, making it quite a long commitment of time, and even more punishing for you to fall down.
Yeah.
Jammy, though, has the soul unlocked and just has to navigate through the 100 meter room. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff on the walls here that you can't actually wall ride on, that will send you right back down if you hit it. So it's a surprisingly difficult room to navigate.
Yeah. 100 meter room is such a pain. It's like bad level design to a comedic extent. Like, at first you encounter this room and you're like, oh neat, I didn't realize you could change wall rides to gain height in this way, and then you look up and you're like, ah, gotcha.
Yeah,
We
there it
haven't
is.
had
Ooh.
yeah.
Jammy very almost fell down by clipping that little panel.
We haven't had sewers graffiti on a board, but there are also a couple of sprays on the way up 100 meter room, so if you get sewers graffiti on a board, you have to do this too.
But
And
Jammy should be able to get this though, the first one to the top
Yeah.
of a 100 meter room. And that is another incredibly close game that goes over to Tim and Eric.
yeah, that also down to the last square.
Really, really good showcase of
Yeah,
JSRF
that-
bingo.
Yeah, that soul pickup was unfortunate, but you know, it happened. It happens. It was a mistake, and you can't account for that all the time.
And in the
Yeah.
end, it didn't change the course of the game, fortunately.
Yeah. So, I assume we are going to get our runners in here at some point. Yeah, that's GG's.
Yeah, so I'm really happy with how those games played out, actually.
Yeah.
Really, really good showcase of really everything that JSRF Bingo has to offer. And two really, really close games as well.
Yeah, always great when the showcase matches aren't a complete blowout. I know when we were recording submissions, we had a couple of those, and those are, you know, they happen, and it's just not quite the same experience. Not as fun. Everyone got sewered. Yes.
Yeah.
The sewers are terrible, and everyone hates them.
We love this game, we hate the sewers.
Yes. There are a couple areas that are kind of notorious for being hated by runners. The other
Tends to
fun
be
thing
the
about
vertical ones.
sewers, yeah, it's the vertical ones because they're so punishing. The thing about sewers also is that there's a skip for them in the any percent run, and so people who only have any percent experience have no idea how to do sewers.
Hey!
High
Congratulations.
phospho. Yeah, that was good games.
Good games. Yes.
I was saying any percent runners don't know how to do sewers, not that you
Oh, that's-
specifically don't.
Okay,
Whoa, we're in
good.
here. Hello.
Hi.
GG's.
Alright.
GG's. Oh God.
Close ones.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. Falling
It
down
wouldn't-
twice in sewers was not how I anticipated the end of that going, but
I fell
shout
down.
outs to me.
I fell down in sewers earlier and just gave up. I was at the top
Oh,
level and accidentally
That's
hopped
what won
over a
it for
rail.
you. I assumed you were in sewers and I went to Kibo. That's so you giving up is what won it. Oh no.
Yeah,
I'm so
I
annoyed.
gave
Hilarious
up.
thing about commentating JSRF Bingo is that me and Twinkachu are trying to get in the minds of the runners and understand what their thought process, what their strategy is, and then they come and talk to us about the games, and it's completely different.
And yeah, Ekla and I are in here like, okay, Phospho he's got this grand plan. He knows exactly what he's doing. And then 4 out of 5 times what happens is, oh, I made a mistake and I didn't feel like continuing.
Yeah, I missed- I
Shout outs to
fell-
F4 by the way. Cough cough.
Yeah, airport.
Oh my god.
I
Yeah.
got it.
Okay. So do
afterwards.
you know what happened when you marked that square? I
Oh,
gave up and went to
no.
go practice cucumber. So that did kind
Oh
of like
no.
I was on my
Oh,
way out of
no.
sewers
Oh,
when
no.
Twinkachu said it, right? So that did kind of sway it a little bit. Just saying, like you
Yeah,
can see me go to
that's
the bottom
External
of sewers,
influence.
turn around, and then I'm like, oh wait,
Disqualified.
it's not really been marked, so then I have to turn around again.
Yeah.
Basically, we give them a 1 point deduction, right?
Yeah. So it's a draw.
So it's a
Perfect.
draw.
Perfect. Works out
So
great.
it's 1.5 to 0.5.
also shout outs to to me
Zaikumi?
not realizing that Trix 100 sorry to Zaikumi, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then
Shout outs
not
to
realizing that Trix 100 was actually I thought Trix 100 was graffiti 100 for like the start of FRZ and I was spraying things.
Oh no! That's how I somehow got that out from underneath you.
Well no, in the second game you didn't get anything in FRZ.
Reading the board
Uh,
is the hardest part
oh.
of bingo, unironically.
I got
Yeah.
I got FRZ Tricks 100 in the first one.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. No, the fact that it's the second one. I was like, okay, like,
cool.
Fosso and Sewers entrance. I'm gonna go FRZ. I'm gonna grab the tape, get the sprays on the way through. Have an advantage, and then it was just wasted. Like there was no point.
Yeah.
mean,
Ekla
just-
and I were expecting Ailis and Bats to go for that diagonal bingo right off the start with the 3 FRZs. And then yeah, we were going hard on that. We were like, this is what they're doing. This is absolutely the direction they're going. And then it completely
Oh yeah, no.
wasn't.
Why
no.
would I touch FRZ?
Yeah. Bats went. Bats. Well, there was so much in Highway Zero though. Like we couldn't afford to do that really because
Yeah.
like if
exactly.
as soon as like Jammy would have realized that we weren't sending anyone to Highway Zero, you can get the graffiti and all the like that's a 6
Yeah.
point like area if you don't contest it. So
Yeah.
Bats went right to get I like didn't we say like either get souls or graffiti and then like see what
Yeah,
they
I
go
went
for.
for under entrance, and like right before I clicked the square, it was like clicked. I was like, "Oh, great! I'll just get graffiti to like give split halves."
That's
Yeah.
something we highlighted when we were commentating about decision making and how we've kind of had an evolution of the meta in bingo over the last few months. In how I remember back when we first started playing bingo for the tournament, if Shibuya Cubby was on the board, for example, like we saw in the first game, everyone would rush straight to that. And we see
Yeah.
kind of an evolution now in that people look at the board, they see a quick and easy default soul, for example, to grab, and they think, well, if my opponent goes for that, what can I get instead? And we saw that a lot in this game in Highway Zero, which I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like one thing that I do now, and that like, Bats does as well, like both of us, we really prioritize the center square. Like, it's amazing, like how many bingo
Strategy.
opportunities it gives you. Like,
Yeah, it's never something that like comes to the forefront of my mind, but like I'm realizing now that it definitely should.
what
Yeah,
was center
that's-
square last time? Because that like helped us
Oh,
put
I've got
pressure
the
on a lot.
boards. Let me
Yeah.
find this. It was sewers center structure,
Yeah. So I went
which
for
is
that
a
first.
default. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
somebody who wants to learn this game, where would they go to get information?
JSRFspeedruns.com. We have our own
We have a
website.
We've also got a Discord server where you can reach pretty much all of our active runners, who are all very helpful and will very enthusiastically point you in the right direction.
Except
Yeah.
me. Okay, kill something.
Love you, Nay.
Except bats.
Yeah.
Please run this game. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
It's a good game.
It's highly exciting. I also like to tell people, not even just for bingo, but for speed games, it's a very good first speed game. There's nothing super punishing, there's nothing super difficult, and it's also very fun to play. It plays very nicely, and it's a very fun kind of 3D platformer. And it's a great introduction to speedrunning. It was my first speed game personally, and I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
Some
getting
categories as well.
getting
you can
into
always find
bingo.
something that fits your preferences.
Yeah.
So
getting into
what I
bingo-
hear
Oh,
is
damn you.
it's the exact opposite to Cyberpunk.
Yes, exactly.
It's,
Yeah,
it, is,
precisely.
it, is,
Opposite.
it is accessible in any way, so yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Can we get cyberpunk.good.com as a domain?
Oh,
All right.
Can it link to Acebats' stream?
But yeah, bingo is a really awesome way to learn more about this game as well. And so I highly recommend it if it's something that interests you. It's a great way to get into speedrun categories and especially 100% categories of this game, because you're essentially forced to have knowledge of the entire game to play bingo at a reasonable level. It's
Not
really
to-
awesome.
Not to promote one of my own kind of side projects, but we do run a bingo tournament a couple times a year, which is great for newcomers if you want to learn specifically bingo. We have people who will play the game with you and teach you their strategies and their routes and all of their huge brain strats. Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't really touch bingo at all until that tournament, and
Yeah.
yeah, like
Bingo is good.
it's a great way to get into
like
it
it.
because you'll get paired up
Yeah.
with someone who knows what
Yeah.
they're doing. Cough, cough, Acebats.
Yeah, I get paired up with someone who knows what they're doing. Cough, cough, Ailis.
It really
Okay, so I
does.
was
bring
meant
the
to be
community
tuned with
together,
Twinkachu, but
Poached.
though. There's usually
Yeah.
someone streaming
right.
JSRF on Twitch, so
Yeah.
come and take a look.
Yeah, come hang out. We're all super welcoming. We just recently added Emulator to our boards. They're on their own separate boards, but Emulator runs are now board legal. So if you don't have access to a soft modded Xbox, you are
You
more
have a
than
copy
welcome.
of the game? Wink.
Yeah.
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 If you don't, you're more than welcome to run on an emulator. And emulators made some pretty big strides, so it is actually far more accessible than it ever was previously. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of the best possible time to get into JSRF.
Okay, well,
now we
thank
need a
you.
UCF.
UCF when?
It wouldn't.
Sorry,
Oh,
carry
all
on.
of
Sorry,
you.
I'm done.
Yeah. Thank you guys for the awesome run. Well done to the Americans. Bad luck to the Brits.
Oh, I didn't even realize that's how we were split. Oh my word. Okay, we tried our best. Okay, I'm sorry, everyone.
We win again.
But we're going to go to an intermission now, and then the next run's going to be Pokemon Emerald. So,
That's it.
again, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Really
you,
appreciate it.
Bingothon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are we offline yet? I don't.
Pretty sure.
the big research that is flying under the radar that I am super blown away by is the research on the microbiome. So the microbiome are the bacteria and viruses that live on our bodies and in our bodies. Believe it or not, there are as many cells that are bacteria and viruses on your body and in your body as there are cells that are you. So 50% of you is bacteria and viruses, and 50% of you is you. There's a thought that the microbiome in your gut can break down certain foods and get rid of certain things that would lead to cancer. So having a good gut microbiome can reduce your colon cancer risk, because there's some bacteria that will take all the food that's bad for you or could lead to cancer and just like break it down, and it's never present. And your gut is also where your body learns what is friendly and what is unfriendly. So your immune system is really shaped by your microbiome. And so the possibilities are endless with the microbiome.
Good evening, bingo fans. I am the DM Panda. Heard me past hour. Well, this is my first time being able to introduce myself. You are watching Bingothon in aid of Fred Hutch. They are at the foremost development of treatments that harness the immune system to fight cancer. Some of these therapies include antibody-based therapies, as well as current developments of potential cancer vaccines that could prevent cancer, as well as treating it by preventing viral infections that lead to cancer. I'm sure you'll all agree that that is extraordinarily good work. Alongside me for this shift is Flower, and I believe Flower has made an interesting character for the next run.
I am not Floha. I am the DM Panda. I am not a panda. That is very important. And yeah.
What are you doing out of the basement?
Why you putting me in a basement?
Because you got to do Cyberpunk. Get back in that basement.
I don't want to run this game.
Do you want to turn out like the other panda?
I am not a panda.
But you are the DM Panda. Get back in there.
But I'm not a panda. I'm not a panda. That's the important thing here.
If you're not a panda,
I'm not
write me a poem to prove it.
I'm not a panda. All right. After you run, you will be dead. Cause with Cyberpunk, you will be fat. We're hoping you will survive this panda. If not, we'll just rename you to Amanda.
Oh, okay. Well, there once was a man who ran, and he said, "Seize the lovely gamers man." He went to the bingo, but couldn't learn the lingo, but he couldn't say no to the clan.
Oh, that is a very beautiful. And hi guys. I am actually not a panda. I'm also not the DM Panda. Yeah, I am Floha indeed. I am actually Floha, the one and only Floha. And yeah, I have prepared something. Give me a second here. We'll be getting this on the road in here. Just a sec. Apparently this is not working, which is a very unfortunate. Unfortunately, I can't show you this picture on stream right now. Just
There it is, it's on.
Oh, there it is. Never mind. It
That
was
is-
there for a sec. It was there for a sec.
That is
Uh,
Floramon, the
Yes.
new Pokemon for the new generation.
Yes, that is a new Pokemon. You've never seen it before.
The wild Floramon appears.
Yeah, it's exclusively here, exclusively first shown here at Bingothon.
Yep.
And nobody actually knew you can actually encounter this Pokemon in Pokemon Emerald.
Oh man!
You didn't know? Yes, you can actually encounter this Pokemon, but it's so rare that nobody's ever seen it before. That's why nobody. Yeah. It's nobody's ever seen this Pokemon before. It's really rare. I mean, it's like a
I don't know throw a Pokeball at it.
0.000000001% chance to encounter it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna chuck a Pokeball at it, full health, see what happens.
Yeah, you can try it. But as I said, nobody's ever encountered it. I personally asked someone at Nintendo to confirm this for me, and yes, this Pokemon actually exists. It's on that one route
on the
if you didn't know.
Nintendo way.
Yes, exactly. And yeah,
Did I catch it with the Pokeball?
you can try to catch it, but
Okay, here we go.
I don't think you will be very successful.
Alright, here we go.
So yeah, that was we have successfully crafted something. Unfortunately, there's something I need to do real quick in here. I unfortunately can't hear you, Panda. So it would be a shame if you were about to ask a question that I could not hear.
So, if Flo was a Pokemon, what type of Pokemon would he be? Any guesses in the chat? If Flo was a Pokemon, what Pokemon would he be? Anyway, coming up, as you are well aware, is Pokemon Emerald, with the brand new Pokemon Floramon included. But we also still have the Team 17 game pack for today, with a donation of just $20.
I'm back. Did I miss something?
Yeah, and we all called your names and just generally said mean things about you.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yep. But the Team 17 game pack for Sunday includes Monster Sanctuary and the Survivalist.
Oh yeah, that is a very interesting. There's some very great game pack, I gotta say,
Yeah.
and
They have done us proud with what they have donated for us.
and yeah, that's very cool. Keep in mind there are several prizes, and also keep in mind that my very colleague in here, that DDM Panda here, will be running Cyberpunk. If we can reach a little more than $500 during the upcoming Pokemon run. I know this is a bit of a stretch, but guys, come on, everything has led up to this, and
Please
yeah.
donate, then he can let me out of the basement. It's cold down here.
Yeah, we can let Panda out of the basement then. Isn't that great? We can let Panda out of the basement. And the basement is cold, and let me just tell you, originally there was another panda supposed to be here, but that panda did not agree to my terms, and there is now a skeleton in the basement next to the DM panda.
On the plus side, I get his bamboo.
Yeah. But yeah, that is that. And yeah, I hope that will not happen with this panda as well. So if you want to save a panda, you better donate something, because you know,
we're endangered.
Yeah. There is already a dead panda.
Yeah. Flo's got the international police after him already. He doesn't want another charge on his head.
Yeah, but I think you asked Chet a question.
Yes,
while I was gone.
We did.
I wonder what that question could be. You know, I think Pika's answer just kind of gave it too much away. Yeah. You know, originally I was just thinking that it just because on the answers I was thinking like, what is your favorite type of Pokemon? But after Pika's
just
answer
in chat, do you reckon he's come to explain himself and giving the game away?
Yeah, but after Pika's answer, I would say if I was a Pokemon type, what type would I be?
Yep, that is spot on. Pika, are you going to explain yourself and giving the game away? Or are you going to stay on mute?
It is I, Pikastrov. I am here to say, donate to rescue the panda. That is my message.
Alright, silliness aside, hello.
I'm Pika.
Thank you for wanting to rescue me.
Alright, yeah, we can tell we're getting to final hours moments.
But I would just like to say, we have now got a blackout of the host bingo.
Yeah, GG's everyone.
GG's.
Before we are coming up on this last run, I want to say a huge shout out to all the hosts that have participated in this host bingo. Everyone sure did their best. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed these goals.
They only left 6 of them for us to finish at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we're good speedrunners, right?
Yeah,
we totally did this.
Yeah,
we totally did this. So that totally worked out, right? We did all 6 goals in what, 10 minutes? Easy.
Yeah. This is they
should have let us do all the goals. We would have been done way faster.
We need to sleep though. That's the problem. We can't do everything. Like Pika, you should be asleep now. Go. You know.
Oh no. What am I gonna do?
Well, Flo will throw you in the basement.
But yeah, before I'm gonna be leaving it in here, I want to say a huge thank you to all the hosts, and please, if you've got some money left, I know it's the pandemic still, and not everybody has something left, but if you have something left, then please consider donating. It's all for a good cause. Fred Hutch is doing some very good research, and yeah, that is about all I have left to say.
Yeah, I also want to shout out all the tech crew. This event, even with all the issues we've had, we couldn't do it without the tech crew.
Yes, definitely. I will be. This is almost turning into afterthoughts, even though we still have a run going. So I will be leaving it to you guys. I will be coming back a bit later, and yeah, you guys have fun. I'll be seeing ya.
All right, thank you so much, Flo. Oh my god, that was a beautiful closing message there.
Do you think you'll let me out of the basement if Cyberpunk does go ahead, or am I staying here till next bingo?
Well, I mean, what's the better fate? The fact that I'll be put in Flo's freezer until the next Bingothon, or that you'll be stuck in his basement until the next one? What's the worst fate?
I think Panda Rao had the right idea.
Yeah, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right. I just got word from Tech We should be good to go. So in that case, everyone, get ready for what could be either the final run or the second last run, if we reach $2,077 in total, of the marathon, being Pokemon Emerald Randomizer, Blackout Bingo by Rob the Gamer 115, and Fierce Magic. Enjoy the run.
Where